I guess I should be a little bit honest here. I mean, there's nobody watching, so it doesn't really matter. Um, I got to be honest here. I don't really think I'm going to be streaming anymore. Um, I think that it's only fun streaming. That is, streaming is only fun when other people are watching, and I think that it's difficult for me as a, as a person who tries to use this as a medium to engage with other people to keep doing this. I guess I I cannot help, and that's the thing about this, right? Like I can't help but set my expectations a little too high whenever I do these things. And sometimes I feel like we need to maybe just accept that, right? Accept that maybe we're not meant to do certain things, and that's okay, you know. Uh, I'll give you an example. Like I'm 5'2", right? Like I'm really short for a guy. Like I'm really, really, really short. There's no way in hell that I'm going to be able to play NBA basketball. There's just no way. There's no way that I'll be able to play NBA basketball. Um, and I think much like streaming, I think there are people out there that are better at it through practice or that they just naturally have charisma and others that don't. And I feel like I don't. I feel like I don't have that kind of charisma that is almost required to stream. I think that it takes a level of dedication. It takes a level of persistence. And I don't think I have the patience to wait for the payout. To wait for me to succeed at this if I succeed at this. And even if I do succeed at this, then what is the end goal? Right? That would mean that playing video games no longer is a hobby of mine, but more a job. Then we have to get into what, like marketing, we have to get into branding, we have to get into merch. And I feel like none of that appeals to me whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. I think that while I have found a bit of joy in streaming, it's very difficult to handle the emotional roller coaster that it is. You know, the ups and downs, the having some, a few evenings where or a few days where people show up and people want to watch your stream and people want to engage with you. And hell, I mean, something that I never really required, but they start subscribing to you and they start following you and you feel like you're on top of the world. And I think that with streaming, you just continue to chase that high over and over again. You continue to chase it and chase it and chase it. I had one day, a long time ago, this was like maybe a month ago or something, or a month and a half ago, where I was playing Super Metroid and people were just showing up in droves. And they were having like this bit war where they were throwing bits at me and subscribing and all that stuff. And I felt, one, shocked. Like I felt like I didn't know what was going on or why it was going on or anything like that. But then two, I felt like I actually accomplished something. But then when I really thought about it, when I really, really broke it down in my head, I was like, is this just pure luck? Or is this something that is directly related to my efforts as a streamer? And I think I have to chalk it up to just luck. I think that's what I have to chalk it up to. It's just basically luck. And when something is like that, like gambling, you chase those highs, you chase those moments that will validate what you're doing. And when those moments don't happen, you feel as though what you're doing is worthless. I don't need to stream. I don't. I took up the hobby because I felt it would be fun. I felt like it would be great to engage with people. I felt like it would be great to talk with people, to maybe help with my social anxiety. And I just feel as though this isn't what I want to do. Not even as a hobby. And even then, I think if a person wants to be engaged into something that is related to the video game industry, I don't think stream is the way to do it. I just don't. I think YouTube is probably your better option, and even then it's just hard. The audience already has their preferences. And so discoverability becomes so much more difficult, yeah? It becomes so much harder to find a way to engage with your audience that hasn't been done before. And so what do you start doing? Do you start just making a fool of yourself? Do you start doing things that would be outside of your comfort zone? So many people talk about you having to go outside of your comfort zone to find yourself. And while that is true in some cases, I think that life is a bit too short to waste our time with things that have no value. And I think Twitch just doesn't have any value for me anymore. It's become this consistent roller coaster of discouragement and despair because you're so dependent upon factors that are outside of your control. You can't control what people like. You can't control whether or not they're going to pop into your stream or not. You can't control a lot of things that directly relate to an audience. That's why the entertainment business is so difficult because you can shift with the trends, but essentially people create these trends, and whether people allow themselves or attach themselves to those trends is really up to them. You have no control over that. You have none. So I think it is with a heavy heart that this is my last stream. I think I'm done. I took a break. I tried to approach streaming with a better attitude, but I think with streaming, I cannot help but feel these expectations. Like, it's very difficult for me to push away those expectations. And rather than to continue pursuing something in which I find it difficult to do, I'd rather just stop. I want to live more for myself. I don't want to live for other people. Entertain audiences. For what? So, this is my last stream. I think I'm done. And I hope you guys have a good one. Take care of yourselves.